And the first survival of the deck is instantly a dinosaur. Good for our opponent, that's for sure. But we can take it. That's literally why I have Cease and Desist, because I tested the deck and I got run over with like 50-50 of stats of dinosaurs on turn 4, and I was like, alright, like I cannot beat this on board. I need to prevent their animation. So now we will start with a little bit of a different game plan. Yeah, we still need one more turn before we go for Kain, and they don't have black mana yet, but they can play it at any point, as you can see. And we need to buffer the first dinosaur, because oh boy, it will hurt. Let's get rid of the tap land. Go for the throat, honestly not what we want here, especially that is the third one, I just realized. But to be fair, if they go for this, we can just go for the throated. So 1 or 2 should be good enough, right? They think it's game. So, I mean, this does not have any protection. Here you go. That's your good game. So, we will continue on our game plan. And we actually have stacked answers. Like, we have a ton of answers. And I think, honestly, we'll go to 5 mana before we go for Kain. Because there is a chance they have removal. I think I will just play it. If they remove it, I'm not counter-spelling it. Basically by, you know, hexproof. I will just roll with it. It seems that they have an instant. And they... Very often they don't play too much removal because they assume that their board will just be better. So maybe we can hit with this. And this could be interesting. Here's the Carnosaur, which will hit a reanimation spell probably. Alright, we can work with this. Here it is. Alright, you can try again. You can try again. And I think this is a perfect Cease and Desist. Here you go. Because we already have spare mana, and this can be used to get rid of the Carnosaur or something, even though this has jump. Okay, and now we have one of the ways to win the game, potentially. Okay, guys, so I think we swing. We go for Overprotect. This is how it was intended. Now we hit face. And we get 5 cards. And 5 treasure tokens. Which means we win on the next turn. Now we can play untapped land, which is really nice. Wait, we actually hit 1 land only. But it's better if we play this. With all those treasures, it should be enough. Now we can discard what? Probably Kain. I think we... Okay, I guess we need 2 creatures. Let's go for this. We don't need duplicates here. Alright, so they can attack, but they will draw a card. 2 cards to be specific, but we drew 5. They will get 2 treasures, we got 5. So you can see who is the owner of this card. We made sure that it's better on our side than on our opponent. But it's still not over. This deck is incredibly scary. I need to count the mana. I think we can go for double play and win the game if they attack with everything. So this is a little bit interesting. They don't have a creature. This is legendary, don't forget. So Rakdos joins up actually can do something. But here they are whiffing fully. We made sure of it with Cease and Desist, which was added. I'm not sure what our opponent is trying to say. I think they are winning the game. Yeah, I think they're really proud, and I think they're considering that they're winning this one. So we can just kill it, which makes it easier. Yeah, let's go. If they attacked with 1 more, I would play a little bit differently, but here I think we are fine. We could Duress this. I don't think we need more. Like, we already did the thing. Well, we could, but we're under a lot of pressure, so not sure if we will have time for all of this. We could just go Enduring Courage, take the hit. Yeah, I like this play a lot. But first, let's Duress. Let's make sure that our opponent will... stacked with dinosaurs, as they should be. So on the next turn, they can go for Galta. That is an interesting one. That is an interesting one. We have 3, 5, 10 mana. They want to swing with this guy, right? We can block it with Overlord. We have 7 mana on the next. Alright, I think I know. So we will go with Enduring Courage and then spend all the tokens on the Overlord. As a creature. That's super important. Now I want to win this game, alright? We are making sure we will. So we can kill the Carnosaur and deal some damage, but then this hits for 4, which means they get 4 cards. And they could be dinosaurs, but it's not lethal. You know what? I'll take this risk. I will take this risk. This one is not legendary, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, and this is a lot of damage. Alright, I'm happy with the decision. And they're losing Kain. Alright, that is even better. Don't forget, every turn we can just play Cactuar and win the game. This was legendary, so they dealt damage. I think they will play Galta, play this, swing face, and try to win on the spot. What? Oh, that top plant. Oh, this is unfortunate. Well. We get haste, and our opponent got Cactuared for 10,002 damage. I guess we go for the fraud, of course, because we need to remove 2-drop. Probably Challenger is like the best one. And they are plotting the Slick Shot. Very nice. However, for this one reason, or this situation, Cease and Desist is actually amazing. Because our opponent thought that we cannot use the turn, and we actually used it, and we denied all the damage. Do I want to go for Unholy Annex? I think we start with a Demon, honestly. I kinda want the land, but I think we can live with just this Mountain. We can always use Bitter Reunion later. Our opponent is already, counting the lethal, basically. So we will be forced to remove the Challenger. This card is very threatening, and we absolutely don't want them to draw a single new card. So that means that Slick Shot will be kinda running free here. Scary stuff, not super happy about it. Which means that, I think we go for Curiosity. It is a decent setup, and we can actually block a red creature, don't forget. So they are plotting, they are preparing for next turn lethal probably. But on the bright side, they cannot deal more damage, so that's super nice. Let's go for the flyer. This will be a chunky boy. Can you believe that we can actually try to kill them on the next turn? The problem is that if they draw a land into triple spell, this will be 7, so 14 damage. If they have triple burst lightning and the land, they win the game. So I honestly don't think we can afford it. And it will be scary. On the next turn we'll probably go Annex, try to draw into lands, and potentially set up for 7 mana, Cactuar. Hard Claw. Alright, so they decided to oh my god, they have so much damage with this draw. Absolutely insane. This is a decent draw. Man, we are both powering through the stuff. I actually cannot attack because then I die. But this is the missing combo. I really hope we played the land for this turn. I think we did, but I'm not super sure. We cannot miss land drops. We need to get this 7-8 mana, and we need to stabilize. This turn is super important. No way this... Okay, I thought this third Slick Shot. Like, for those, you need to draw removal at instant speed. Alright, Demonic Raucous is still annoying, but something maybe we can deal with. Man, we are really close. I want to hit, a good card. We'll probably use Seize to try to survive the next. Okay. I mean, this is 2 life. Alright, you know what, let's go. Let's go. We are at 27 and that will help a lot. We cannot kill them yet, but I think there is a chance we kill them on the next turn. But here we absolutely need to try to survive. The damage they will stack on the next turn will be like it will be close to 30 probably. They might still kill us through this. I wish I knew I will go for the Throat. Because go for the Throat prevents more damage than the Annex, so I would not play Annex if I knew that I'm doing it. But here they need to go for the Lethal. This is the turn, and we might still die. We actually might still die to this. The damage scaling on those creatures is kinda insane, like completely insane. So they will play everything. They will Raucous probably the Swift Spear, so it's hard to block. Scamp is good. That's a wasted point of mana. Never mind, scrap that. This will be tons of damage. They probably can sacrifice it on this turn. Yep, so Demonic Raucous here, and they will probably fling it to our face. That's what I expect. It has haste, maybe it's just the attack. To be honest, it's not as much damage as I expected so far, but it's not over. It's not over. We have to go like this. We go for what? This? Swift Spear is scaling with every spell they are casting, so it might be 4-5. So that means no trample, and we prevent 4 damage with 3 toughness. That's a good deal. This is 6, and this 8. I mean, we are not dead yet, right? Okay. I know I'm losing it, but I just want to survive. They might fling and kill the demon, but we need to see. We have Sanctuary, so we should be fine with it. Man, we can actually kill them with Cactuar, if we hit right. Here's the fling, as we expected. It hurts, they will draw a card, but we are still not... You can see why it was so important to, you know, have every creature at our disposal to leave. Oh no, they have this blocker. Oh, that's so annoying. Oh man, we actually cannot make any play here. I think we have to... Okay, I think we go for the Hydra. If we attack with this, this is a force block, but we cannot give it trample. This can get trample. Do we win with Hydra? I think we win. Yeah, this should be enough damage. 3, 6. It will be 8, 14, 18, and they... Okay, this might actually be the perfect lethal. Oh man, this could not be closer. This deck is still terrifying. The fact that this is after bounce version, like, tells a lot, man. So this will be a perfect lethal. Okay, 2 damage overkill. And the trample on Hydra definitely was really handy. And now the Annex will finish the job. And the Courage is really nice, as you can see. And if that died during the trade, we would also get more treasures. Some mono black Duress shenanigans? Of course, of course. Whenever you see the swamp, you know what's hitting you. Whenever you see priority on 1 mana, you know it's Duress, because Cutdown would not hold the priority. They kinda see the whole hand, but still let's play the swamp. Just for the sake of it. We'll probably go with Reunion. So, you know, the start was a little bit awkward. You know what, maybe you just go with this. Like, I kinda like my hand. I don't like this draw for sure, though. Because with this we can play Annex on the next turn. Our opponent is playing blue. So there is a chance they will counter. It really feels like it, doesn't it? So let's go for Bitter Union. Okay, they don't have it. That's important. I guess Verge is just better swamp here. Yeah, we don't need so many... I wanted to say we don't need so many lands, so just to make sure we drew 2 more. Alright. But that means we checked for the counter spells and we know our opponent doesn't have those, which is super important. I will play Sanctuary. We could go with the Hydra and ramp. But I want to use this moment when we know that our opponent cannot counter spell, because this is super important, and then we can just go with the Hydra on the next turn. Because this was the second blue, so they might, you know, have some 3 steps ahead. Fortunately, our hand, you could call it resistant to Duress, because we have mostly hands. So there's a good side of it. If you draw nothing, your opponent cannot discard any good cards, you know? Unfortunately, our main stuff is creatures. So what can we do here? I probably need second red for potentially courage. Guys, I will go for it. This is so problematic if you don't have a counter spell, because they kinda need to exile it. If they just kill it, it's good for us. They need an exile effect. That's an instant exile effect, not a single problem. This card is not as played as before, so I kinda did not expect they will have this. They generally shouldn't. So, what can we do now? The next turn, huh? We could go for the courage into go for the throat. I like it. Especially that they want to remove this, they also have to exile it, and Anoint with Affliction doesn't hit it, so this might be a bit of a problem, and we can even protect it with go for the throat, so I like this play quite a lot. They might start going for the reef. Alright, some more lands, we still need those. Enduring Curiosity. Well, nope. Please no. I really don't want you to draw more cards, and we need to kill it while they are tapped, of course. To be honest, if they tap for reef, they lose on the next turn, because we have hasters. Alright, our opponent will literally get the last card we have from the hand that is not a land. This is crazy. I also got mana screwed on 2 lands with this deck. Yep, we need more, still more. At least we have a demon, you know? Man, this is pretty rough draw, not gonna lie. Like with this, we don't exactly have the place we want to try to make. Go for the fruit is something at least. Don't forget they are drawing cards every time they hit face. I think they can kill the demon, to be honest. And I think they are waiting for the demon. If we go for Sanctuary, maybe the better demon stays? 3-5, but we don't have many plays. I don't think it will even hit once, honestly. I will go for it because it's more mana efficient this way, but I'm pretty sure it will just instantly die without doing anything. Yep, our opponent just has all the stuff. Not perfect, you know, it would be a little bit easier to make plays if we had cards in the hand, but we have twice the value of our opponent, however this value is 0. This draw is great, but we don't have mana to play it. If I knew we will draw it, I would spend 4 mana for the Sanctuary. This is okay, but the bad drawing card is not okay. That's the real problem. And this is the lifeline for our opponent because they are out of gas basically. And now they are getting back into the game with every single hit, meaning they can put more creatures, which means that they have more answers. And suddenly they get cards like this that literally perfectly answer a creature that has to be exiled. Man, this is crazy. What? Oh, this is the raw. I always mistake it for this exile effect. Okay, so this was actually a full miss. Okay, so finally a miss from our opponent. Alright, and this is the Overlord. Alright, with this, okay, like the art is nearly identical on those. I always confuse those. So we can go for the Overlord and hit it instantly, unless they have a counter spell. This is a bait. I'm checking priority. Cool. That means we are going for this guy. It enters the battlefield, kills Cecil, and we can instantly attack for tons of damage. I mean, very close to lethal, honestly. Let's hit face. Let's scare our opponent just a little bit. And you can see how much game changes if they whiff for a single play. Like, they are basically dead on the next turn. So now they can go with the Reef, deal 4 damage, but that will be their whole turn. They need more. Kaito. They can tap. Overlord probably. But that means we can kill Kaito and they're out. Man, single draw and they're out. Right, we are going first. We have some card though, so we will take it. Let's go for the Mortuary. I don't know the matchup, but if we have Annex, we can probably outvalue them. So we need to make sure that we don't get hit by, for example, wild tiny bones that appears randomly. We don't have permanent, so let's see if there will be bat on turn 2. You know they like it. You know they love their bat on turn 2. Finn, alright, we know everything about this deck. And I'm really happy I waited with removal and I took another one. So now we set up Annex, go for the throat, and we can go through, for the cool gameplay. Let's go this into Annex. That's probably something they cannot respond to easily. They might have the pulse, so that's something to keep in mind, but I think they shouldn't play it, or maybe one. Glissa, definitely absolutely devastating card. I'm happy that we have the counterplay. And the mana is a little bit wrong, but we can make it work. There is a chance they have a protection spell. Like they have a lot of creatures that have super high value. Alright, this will give us the red mana that we needed. They are getting close to going Cactuar. Rot Priest. Alright, not the end of the world, even though it's a very scary card. I think we go for the Overlord. Do we? Or we just go Demon and try to block? We're under so much pressure that it's hard to, do stuff. We still need 2 turns before we go. Okay, this is good. This is good, because next turn we can go Overlord. So that's kinda important. Alright, I think with this we can completely dominate the board, and even if they kill Courage, it doesn't go to the graveyard, which is super important. I mean, Tiny Bones doesn't matter, and if we block here, we still get damage. So maybe we just play Overlord? I think this is a decent play. We can also make a Demon on the next turn and try to prevent this type of situation happening. We are at 6, so that's a bit of a problem. And the Poison Chain has started. It really feels like some counterplay, which is not amazing for us. Alright guys, this is important. We could go for the maximum Overlord and swing. If they have removal, that will be a problem. They have some removal in this deck. But we still get at least some value. I will go for it. I think this is a solid play. We get a poison counter every time we target a creature, of course. But this should be, a good stuff. Yeah, they definitely have some protection with Rot Priest. So let's start with this guy and see if it goes through. Because if this dies, then we can kill the other one without poison. They actually have something. Alright. So they just did it for the poison, but it's still okay. So now we can go for the Overlord hit, kill the Contaminator, and then probably, we are really low, so let's make sure we don't die. And this doesn't die on this turn, which means that we will swing on the next turn and potentially win the game. We're literally at 4 man. This could not be closer. They are pushing both damage and the poison counters here. Here I block. Wait, this is lethal. Go for it. Go for it. Do your worst, my friend. Up to 6 with a 1 card. Another Tiny Bones. Very smart play. Now they can still block with it. That is very nice. So we definitely play this. We can go for the Cactuar, forcing them to have nothing in the board. And we are not dead to Annex. We can also go for the Demon and swing for lethal, I believe. That seems like a decent play. Because we can just do this. It gets haste. It gets damage. And now we swing and it's enough damage. This deck deals tons of indirect damage, as you can clearly see. So this is 4, 12, 14. by literally making like 2 creatures. So our opponent can block the Overlord, trade, and then they die. Man, this was close. Our opponent fought very nicely here. A good start. Scrap. Oh man, this will be such a pain. But this might be a toxic deck. Alright, man, that was so close to not hitting. So we kinda know the full situation. Hopefully our opponent didn't draw anything for 1-drop. This is... man, this is perfect draw. Absolutely perfect draw. This is an artifact, so we cannot kill it with Go for the Throat. They have priority from passage, but man, this solves the biggest problem of this game so far. Now they play Chocobo, but they need to play a lot. Man, they also need to draw untap one, because the Fabled Passage is tapped. And they can theoretically play the top card, but they don't have the mana, which means that we can kill it. Man, it's going great. This one, Virtue of Persistence, saved the day, man. Alright. Now we are both at super low resources. But I think we can do it a little bit better, because we have those Courages. We don't have basic? I actually don't have the mana. Oh, so awkward. Alright, we are both kinda struggling here. Our opponent because we got rid of everything that was threatening. We because we didn't draw right, basically. But at least we had perfect answers to what they had early game, so I'm pretty happy with this one. They can put so many counters on this one. Audacity. Well, would love to remove it, but unfortunately we cannot. I think I will still activate the Sanctuary just to keep using mana. We're risking that it might be removed, but I think it should be okay. I think this fixes the mana, right? Very nice. I think it's too early. I think we need, like, we're struggling to get to this mid game. So for now we just go for Courage probably. We could also go Bitter Reunion. We don't have green mana on this turn, don't forget. So I think we go with this guy. They can put a ton of damage, but probably not kill us, so this is a nice setup. I didn't want to attack because I really need those lands, and if they trade it, they still get the card back with Audacity, so, you know, and they can, you know, just crack passages and probably pump it to more than 3-3. Oh my god, this is so good. Well, like, they denied full turn from us. Alright, so they can put 3 counters, I believe, so this will be 8-6, sorry, with lifelink, so this makes it harder. Fortunately, we hit for 10,000 damage, so when we hit as we want, it shouldn't matter as much. But of course, this being exiled is absolutely the worst case scenario for us. We spent the whole turn making this play. And our opponent answered it all by 2 mana. But at least we are getting some stuff done. We can now trade Sanctuary against Chocobo. We can also go Enduring Courage. Alright, I like this play. I think this is a good play. Okay, yes, we go like this. If they don't draw something super strong from the top, I think we can do it. We can even double block, which is absolutely amazing. Because even the land will put a counter, getting it to 7 toughness, and then we don't, you know, don't do the thing. I will double block this. Let's go. We can save 1 Sanctuary if we want. And then keep the Courage as the enchantment. I kinda want to wait for Kain. I will go like this. I think that's fine. Honestly, that's fine. And also the dog will get haste. They lost Sheltered. They are getting the card, but now they need to set up the whole new board, and very likely they cannot. Tifa. Tifa is a really good draw for them. But I think we can manage. Alright. Alright, so we could attack. We can just go for the demon. But it's not great here. You know what? I think it's good enough. Let's go for the demon. Just to push tons of damage and maybe scare them just a little bit. And you can always block with Courage, it's not a big deal. I really think they cannot kill us on single turn. So let's just go for, you know, casual 10 damage. Normally it would really matter, but here it actually does. Not for the time being, but we have Demon for the future turn, so maybe we can set up Annex. And if we hit Kain, we can Overprotect and draw tons of cards. Giant Growth, okay. Into double land? This is literally the perfect draw. No way, man. This is the highest 2 cards for the damage you can get in this deck. Oh my god, are you serious? So this is 16 damage and we man, I tell you. Oh my god, this is incredible. The point is that you generally don't play around this. The chance of this is so low that they will randomly draw 3 cards and it will be Tifa into double land into pump spell that you just disregard this scenario. Well, that was a crazy day on the arena. I hope you enjoyed, and before we go into the deck, because I have some things to say about the deck, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you guys for being cool for the channel, for, you know, caring, for supporting, for watching daily. All of this super matters to me, and it just means world to me. So thank you for all of that, and it makes creating videos like this just so much more fun. And about the deck, because we need to talk about this one. This one went through so many versions. I started completely differently. I started with red crystals, but then I realized that Courage is a little bit better. If Courage is better, then Kain, Traitorous Dragoon can be used, because I always wanted to showcase this card. This card has very cool effect, and I just wanted to make it work. And I realized that both Kain and Hydra benefits from having higher power and having haste. This one has haste, but when it dies, you get the amount of treasures that is equal to the power, right? So if it has +2 from Courage, or even more because you can stack multiples, it really gives you this ramp. So the idea is that we can go for this combo of Courage into Cactuar, but very often we need Aether Cactuar together with Overprotect, so it has Trample, meaning that even it goes through the blockers, and 10,000 damage is probably enough to kill both blockers and the player. So this is very cool synergy, but it also works with Kain, Traitorous Dragoon. So you can pump it to 5, and drawing 5 cards and making 5 treasures is a big deal. And you have noticed that nobody, when they get Kain, they never attack. They just are so scared of this card. And I also needed to push some Unholy Annexes, because I realized that I don't have enough cards, and it's very hard to just piece together everything. And this goes to the main point of the outro. This is a purely fun deck. Like, this is junk. I tried to make it work. I wanted to showcase you those cards. I think there's a lot of cool ideas in this deck, but they just are so hard to make together. And, you know, you are trying so hard to make this cool combo, so you can, you know, either attack with some creature or get 5 cards, and your opponent is just, you know, AFKing 50-50 of stats with dinosaurs and stuff like this. Very often, most of the decks just go harder, faster, and stronger than you. So this is a cool idea, but it's a little bit slow, and the payout is not as impactful as in some of the other decks that literally win on the spot when they finish the combo or finish the interaction. And you need a lot of pieces here, because for example you have double Overprotect, and without it Kain isn't as great, but if you go 2 mana you can whiff on creatures. So there are so many things here. The idea is that we also needed to squeeze some cease and desist against reanimator decks, because otherwise it's very hard to win. I started with 3 Duresses, I ended with 1 because I needed to get something. And Virtue is really nice here because it gets all the creatures back, and when they are getting back from the graveyard, they will get haste from Courage, also the pump. So you can use especially Overlord and Cactuar incredibly well with Virtue, and it doubles down as a removal for early game. The mana is also wonky. I went kinda balanced approach. We have mostly black cards, I guess, especially for the early game, but sometimes it will get you, especially that I still think that I need to play the Sanctuary, and sometimes they get you in 3 colors deck. So maybe you can just go 4 annexes and just rely on ritual chambers, because we kill very fast. So if we get enough cards, we should be okay, I guess, before they kill all the demons, but it depends. It depends. So a little bit wonky all around. Definitely not the deck that I recommend moment to craft, but it was a fun one. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. I took a lot of pain to make this video so you can get the coolest, the most fun games and enjoy something new with some new cards showcased. So if you appreciate it, please consider subscribing. It helps a ton and it makes me happy. So that's a very good deal. You get 2 for 1 and you get a cool deck. So yeah, I hope it was fun. Thank you to all the patrons that allow us to make those decks, and yeah, thank you guys for watching and see you tomorrow.